Hello, welcome back to the channel. I want to take a quick break here as we're working on our system and software engineering guide to talk about maintaining momentum. Many of us are extremely busy delivering whatever our needs are, company, shop, even yourself. And there are often breaks in the day that disturb your momentum. And when you return, you want to very quickly pick up where you left off and hit the ground running. In this episode, we're going to talk about some pro tips that we use in maintaining momentum. So let's get started. We're going to start off with working sets. And I've talked about working sets in this channel quite often. I'll try to include some links, but creating working sets is extremely powerful for yourself and your team. This happens to be a collection of working steps that the project manager provides to the team to place their working sets. Now, these working sets, they can be anywhere. They can be in your own personal zone. They could be in your own package that you're working on for a given responsibility, whether it's requirements management, solution engineering, design, development. Even client stakeholders may want their own working sets as they're trying to track the work that other stakeholders are doing in the team. So you can see in this particular case that the project manager has created a namespace. Let's find it in the browser, called working sets. And in here it has asked that each user create a working set for what they're working on. And we're going to go to dynamic viewpoints, hit the space bar, bring up this pop-up menu, and we can bring in a working set in here. Let's say it's requirements approval. So let's just type in here, requirements approval, requirements review, whatever that is, and can add diagrams that they deem necessary for doing so. So the requirements engineer working set is working on these items. The project manager or whoever the stakeholder is not interested in this diagram, but interested in this diagram. Then goes to solution engineer and sees the diagrams that the solution architect is working on as working with the requirements engineer, and wants that diagram, wants the CONOPS, concept of operations. So these three diagrams, and can quickly choose those three diagrams to come up when necessary for the work that they're doing so they can hit the ground running. So if we come in here and we close everything except for the main page, we can get the working sets and we can very quickly hit the ground running on getting to the particular diagrams that are part of requirements review. In this particular case, the program manager is working on a year-long strategy for delivering and has two working sets because they immediately start working with the requirements engineer and the solution engineer, who represents software and system engineering, and their requirements happen to reside in their own personal namespace. So we go up, and we've talked about this before, you can create a team zone where each one of the stakeholders has their own private package where they can maintain and manage the working set. So the requirements engineer is working on requirements for a particular work effort and can quickly get to them. And the solution engineer is working on their set of diagrams to very quickly get to what the solution is. Let's go back to that main page and get to this landing page here. And the program manager or any stakeholder can very quickly see out of the diagrams that they're working on. If I right click on here and I go to edit working set, I can see everything that's open from the requirements engineer to the solution engineer, what they're working on, what they hit the ground running on. So you can see the requirements manager is working on all of these diagrams while the solution engineer is working on these diagrams. However, the solution architect may be working on similar diagrams at the same time. So we're going to right click on the working set for the solution engineer, edit working sets, and we can see everything that the solution engineer is working on happens to be the business requirements, the functional requirements, the solution architecture, as well as the concept of operation. So you can very quickly see who's working on what, when, and why. So one of the pro tips is using working sets. The other pro tip is while you're working on working sets is that you maintain a level of collaboration with the team and yourself. So we're using Journal in this particular case. The requirements engineer can come in and today they make a statement in here that they're working on this particular diagram. And they're also working on capabilities and made a journal entry here on what's taking place, what they're working on, and what they should be focused on. So you can see here that there's a navigation cell for high-level solutions. So they're working with the solution architect as they're building out these capabilities. They're also working on scenarios for the concept of operation using use cases and can use Journal to maintain their momentum as they're going forward, even at the element level. So they're working on scenario 1 and they're basically making a note to themselves as well as the team on what they happen to be doing at a particular time. So if they come back in after a lunch break or a day off or a vacation, they can immediately understand where they left off in a particular diagram or where others left off in a particular diagram as part of the working set. Outside of journaling to maintain momentum, you can also take advantage of discussion capabilities. So in this particular case, UML operator posted a comment on this particular scenario. And as they were working through other elements, the UML operator also posted a comment on this particular diagram dealing with not only this scenario, there is the discussion item, but the diagram itself pertaining to the remaining elements that are in here and can discuss at any element level as soon as they need to, want to, or have to. The have to comment was related to the project manager's communication plan, basically stating that every stakeholder, when they're leaving a particular model element, that they do a journal entry for the remainder of the team to understand where they left off. The discussion, they have to ask questions and collaborate at element or diagram levels with the rest of the team so that others understand where someone left off, what they're focused on, and what action items are needed to proceed. Next, I want to talk about timelines, and this was a feature that was released in Sparx version 17. This basically allows someone to show a snapshot of a particular diagram at a particular time. So as this diagram changes, you're able to see the timestamps here in the current session. This is where the discipline comes in. You can also save snapshots right here, and I have a video on this so that you're able to understand the changes that are taking place in a particular model. So if a stakeholder that's working on the particular diagram happens to leave for a period of time and returns and someone else was working on it, snapshots can help folks understand what changes took place. So you may have many changes that are time-stamped here. You're allowed to baseline those changes. You can do compares to see what changed. Nothing has changed since the snapshot, but you're able to actually understand what's taking place in real time as changes are taking place in your diagrams. Next, I want to talk about focus. And this is probably one of the most powerful features in Sparx that help you understand what's changed. And I have a video on focus. I'll try to put a link to that video in the description below. But focus, and I keep mine as part of my toolbox window. I have focus and I have discuss and review, all right here, quickly accessible. So in this particular case, I want to look at diagram changes that have taken place in the last day, the last 24 hours. So 1 day is the time that it's looking in the database. So I want to look 3 days back, 7 days back, 30 days back to to see what's changed over a period of time, and I can filter and get to a particular subject area that I want to very quickly. You can use focus at the element level. What's changed today or the last 24 hours? What's changed in the last 30 days, etc. You can do it at the document level. You can do it at the discussion level. You can do it at the reviews level and much more. So I just really focus on diagrams first. And then if I'm interested in what's changed in elements, I can go look at that. I can right click on this, find in the browser, and very quickly get to that conversation. So this particular working set, an element that has changed, I want to find in all diagrams. I can quickly get to it, and I can continue to work from that particular element, and very, very quickly, right as I'm coming in. So what's changed? And there we go. Next, I want to talk about baselines, and baselines are important for broader package management. And so when you're looking at this particular namespace for this solution architecture, if I hit Control, Alt, and hold down B, you all learned, I have many videos on this, that you can get the baselines. And I'm just returning, hitting the ground running, and I want to see, well, what's changed in this particular model since I last worked on it? And oh my goodness, look at all the changes that took place. And the problem with baselines is they take a long time to run versus using something like timelines on a particular element. If I go to timelines, I might be able to see snapshots that the modeler or stakeholder that is authorized to work in the model did during a period of time. So in this particular case, we're going to show a snapshot, show comments. We can do all sorts of things that are here on this particular element. I want to use baseline to compare the snapshot with those changes. And so I'm able to look at this and see, well, what's changed since the last snapshot baseline? You see how fast that was versus using baselines at the package level? I just get exactly what I want to focus on, and I can just see, well, there's just geometry changes. So you can see this is a change. This is new. Green means new. This means something was removed. Don't worry about it. It's a legend. We don't care. Elements, there was a change, but it's all geometry. There wasn't any content changes that we can see using baselines at the snapshot level. And so when you're using baselines at the package level, it can take a great deal of time to understand what has changed. And I'm just going to do since the last baseline, show the differences, how much time this takes to bring up from the SQL database all of the changes, and I can see what's new versus changed since the last baseline. Now, of course, I'm probably going to complain that a baseline was not taken after these changes were made, because there actually could have been many change intervals that took place during this particular exercise for this model or in solution analysis in general. All right, we're going to wrap up now, and hopefully it makes sense. Requirements engineer comes in, very quickly hits the ground running, maybe wants to come in and see what the solution engineer working set is. Then they want to go into their particular working set and say, you know what, I'm going to edit my working set and look at the diagrams that the solution engineer or software engineer was working on, and I want building blocks. I'm going to add that to my working set so that the next time that I come in, I can hit the ground running. Add that in here. Let's go ahead and close this, test it out, close everything except for the main menu here. Now when the requirements engineer launches the working set, the diagrams that they're currently focused on, they immediately pick up a model that another stakeholder may be working on that they can use as part of the work they're doing and delivering very quickly. So you can come back, pick up where you left off, come in, apply focus, apply discussion and reviews to particular elements that you happen to be working on at any given time. So I hope this video helped out. A lot of people have been asking me on how do I work so quickly, and I really count on the tools that Sparx provides to pick up where I left off, make notes, so that when I return, I understand exactly what I was thinking about when I returned. So until that next episode, happy modeling.